Hey, good evening. It's Joey Buckholz from the Utopian Baseball Universe. Happy Sunday night to you and happy Valentine's Day for joining us tonight. It is the Kansas City Royals team preview show. I'm going to bring on a special guest here momentarily. Tonight we'll be revealing the Royals opening day roster, which is going to include their opening day lineup. We'll look at their starting rotation, what that bullpen is going to look like, what their bench is going to look like. This is a team that had a lot of success last year. They won the South Division, lost in the South Division Championship Series to Atlanta, but this was a team that was third in the league in pitching and seventh in the league in hitting, and they're just going to get better with some additions that we'll talk about later. As we've been doing the last couple of days, if you guys have any questions or comments, we're going to get to those at the end of the show. But first, I want to bring out our guest. I'm really excited to have a gentleman on by the name of Tony Muzzillo. Tony's written a book called The Drive to Succeed, Success Through the Eyes of a Retired Ball Player. I read it this week, and I loved it, and let's bring him on to talk about it. This is Tony Muzzillo.
Hey, everybody.
Tony, welcome to the show. Tell us what inspired you to write this book.
Well, I had a severe head injury when I was 4.5 years old. And so I grew up disabled, and I mean, it's kind of hard to explain, but I was always looked down upon because of what I was, and I was never given a chance. It wasn't until about fifth grade, fourth and fifth grade, I had a PE teacher that really took his eye to me, and really inspired me to do things. And then in high school, I tried out for the baseball team, didn't make it. Asked if I could manage because, that's the next best thing. I was told, yeah, sure, you can manage. And that is basically where my inspirational life really began. Not only was I the manager, but I also did inspirational quotations for the team. And that is what I, even after college, felt I was led to do. I put together this book. I finally got published in 2016, self-published, through what was then called CreateSpace.com, which is now part of the Kindle Direct family through Amazon. All the quotes end basically up until 2009, and I've since actually been working on a second edition, which may take another 10 years. But I have selected 3 quotations. They all come in poem form, but they pretty much they tell you what the book is in itself all about, and basically what my inspirational drive is all about. And here's the first one.
All right, great.
A name is a name, but if you give full effort always, your coming days will not remain the same. For who knows the growth of your acquisition of developing fame? I came up with that one on Thursday, September 28th, 2006. Quote 2. My plan. Let your mind roll free of distraction and open your eyes. Release all doubt and see yourself winning the bout. Never say I can't, but instead be optimistic and say with pride, I can, for to see success is my plan. Came up with that one on Friday, September 22nd, 2006. And quote 3, reach for the stars. As you reach for the stars and grasp the sky, remember, oh remember, your time to shine is drawing nigh. And I came up with that one on Thursday, April 27th of 2006.
Tony, how long did it take you to come up with all of the different quotes that you included in your book?
Well, the quote 1 was sometime in the summer of 1997. Yeah, 1997. And the end of the quote, or the youngest quote in the book is near the tail end of 2009. And I felt, that was a good gap for the first book, even though I could have easily made it thicker. But I said, I might as well make a cutoff, and then, just anything beyond that be the beginning of book 2, which is in process. Again,
Nice.
I mean, I could do that for about another 10 years, but we'll see.
And is the second book going to be more quotations that we can expect?
Yes, it'll include all of book 1. It'll just be basically volume 2 will be a thicker volume, including volume 1.
Nice. If you don't mind, Tony, I'd like to share my favorite quote that I got from Sunday, December 14th, 2008. Yesterday, today, tomorrow. Never focus on yesterday or on tomorrow. That will not help you today. Just focus on today, for how we play today is what matters. That one's my favorite because for the last 4 or 5 years, I've myself really tried to focus on being the best I can today, not dwelling too much in the past, and not relying too much on the future. Just really putting all of my efforts in today. So when I read that, I was moved because that's been my mindset for quite a few years now.
That's awesome.
Can you tell the people watching where they can find your book?
Yeah. I even have the web address written down, but it may just be easier to basically follow what I say.
Okay, and I'll share it to the group.
Okay, if you go to Amazon.com, type in The Drive to Succeed.
Okay.
It is not on the first page that you will find, but it's on the second page after you type that in, and then it'll be about the 16th book down on page 2. Or, let's see here. Let's see if I can get this in here. Shit. Joey, can you see that?
Yeah, and what I'll do, Tony, is as soon as we're off the air tonight, I'm going to copy a link to Amazon right to the group page so people can go right there if they're interested.
Okay.
So people can see that we're both wearing Royals gear today. Tell us some of your favorite memories as a kid or even as an adult of the Kansas City Royals.
Definitely. I mean, I was born and raised 65 miles southeast of Kansas City, so naturally they're my hometown team. I was born in 1982, so I missed the success of the late 70s, but since then I've done all the research and all the study on it, and we, even in the 70s, had one hell of a team. My first real memory goes to the 1985 World Series, which I may not actually have as an actual memory, but as a research memory of us the World Series. And of course, the big dog that year was George Brett. he is the only player in Major League history to have batting titles in 3 different decades. I mean, come on, along with like Ted Williams and stuff, that had never happened in 3 different decades for a batting champion. But, I mean, skip up to about 1980s, the mid 1980s, we had Bo Jackson, one of the greatest two-star athletes or two-sport athletes of all time. Granted, I'm not much of a football fan, never have been, but he was a great addition to the Kansas City Royals. I mean, he threw out, I think it was Harold Reynolds, at home plate from the outfield on a dead gun. That tells you how strong his arm was. I mean, skip into the 1990s, we had Johnny Damon. Early 2000s, Carlos Beltran. In 2012, my dad and I went to one of the Negro League Appreciation Days.
Okay.
Because Kansas City was the home of the Kansas City Monarchs. And actually, this happened more to my dad than to me. Dad and I were down there near field level, where our seats were. And I guess there's an extra ball, that they forgot to pick up from shagging, in BP. And I guess I turn around to stretch my back or something. And Dad's like, here's a ball for you. I'm like, where'd that come from? And Dad said, I guess he said, I guess they forgot to pick it up from shagging balls. So they threw it up to us. And the very next year, I went to the same appreciation day and actually had some of the Negro League stars sign it.
Nice.
That was pretty sweet. And then, of course, who can forget 2015 when we won the second ring in Kansas City history? I mean, that one I can much better remember. We had some great stars. Unfortunately, most of them aren't with us anymore or with the team anymore, but those are just a few of those great memories. And nacho cheese at Kauffman Stadium is to die for.
Yeah. I think I was 9 or 10 years old when the Royals beat the Cardinals in '85, and I remember watching that series on ABC.
I was almost 3 years old.
Oh, yeah? And then I was rooting for the Royals in 2014 when they were facing the Giants. Now, I'm a Mets fan, so I was rooting for the Mets in 15, but I'm happy that the Royals were able to get it because I'm a big fan of Ned Yost, who was the manager here in Milwaukee for about 6 years prior to going to Kansas City. All right. We've reached the part in the show. Tony's going to stick with us. We're going to start revealing this Utopian Baseball Universe roster for the 2021 Royals. Maybe we'll get some reactions from Tony here. Maybe tell me where I went wrong. But before we get to the roster, I want to share some of the highlights from their schedule. We're going to put that on the screen right now. The Royals are opening their season at Boston, Friday, March 26th. The Royals at the Red Sox. On Memorial Day, they'll be hosting the Rays, May 31st. That'll be a day game. Independence Day at the Cubs. On Labor Day, they're going to be at home against the Houston Astros. And then they're going to finish their season at home against Florida. And it looks like their home opener is going to be Friday, April 2nd against the New York Mets. So at the Red Sox to start the season, hosting the Mets for their home opener, hosting the Rays on Memorial Day, at the Cubs on 4th of July, and then at home against Houston on Labor Day, and then finishing the season at home against the Florida Marlins. Ned,
Miami.
What's that?
I think they're called the Miami Marlins now.
They are. I use the Florida Marlins name for the Utopian just because there's a little bit more history with that name.
Okay. Makes sense.
But I do alternate between the two jerseys, the old teal and black, and then what they're using today.
Okay.
So Royals fans, here we are. We've got the opening day lineup from Ned Yost. This is what he's going to go with as the Royals open their season at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. What's unique about this matchup is that this is two division winners facing each other to start the season. The Red Sox won the East last year, and the Royals won the South. So this is what Yost is going to go with to start the season. As you guys found out in January, Cool Papa Bell is the newest member of the Kansas City Royals. He's going to lead off and play center field. Lorenzo Cain, to make room for Papa Bell in center, he's going to play left field this year, and that's second. George Brett, batting third and playing third base. Jorge Solar, hitting cleanup and playing right field. Salvador Perez, catching and batting fifth. We've got Frank White playing second base and batting sixth. Eric Hosmer batting seventh and playing first base. Alcides Escobar playing shortstop and batting eighth. And the opening day pitcher for the second straight year is going to be Brett Saberhagen. As I mentioned earlier, the Royals third in pitching last year. Saberhagen was a big part of that. Tony, what do you think of this opening day lineup that Ned Yost will be fielding against the Red Sox?
It sounds good. I mean, you can't be any quicker than Cool Papa. That's for one thing. I remember Buck O'Neill once said what they said about Cool Papa was just about accurate. He could turn off the light switch and jump into bed before it got dark.
Nice.
So that's all top speed.
I love it. Yep. So, again, we've got Cool Papa Bell, Cain, Brett, Solar, Perez, White, Hosmer, Escobar, and Saberhagen. The starting rotation to start the year is going to look very similar to what it did last year. Why change it? We're going to have Brett Saberhagen starting opening day. David Cohn going Saturday the 27th. Paul Splittorff going Sunday. And then on Monday, it's going to be Yordano Ventura facing the Phillies. And then Mark Gubazal will round out the starting rotation to start the season. Also on the roster, Charlie Liebrandt and Dennis Leonard. They're going to start the season in the bullpen. But as soon as if someone were to falter, then those guys are ready to step right in there. Speaking of the bullpen, Dan Quisenberry led the Utopian Baseball Universe last year in saves, and he'll be the closer this year, Dan Quisenberry. He's going to be joined by Jeff Montgomery, Joakim Soria, Greg Holland, Kelvin Herrera, Luke Hoshaver, and Jesse Hahn joining the Royals this year, the Utopian roster. And also on the team this year, now I say this every show, just because they're not starting on opening day doesn't mean they're not going to be a big part of what this team's doing. To round out the roster this year, we've got John Wathen, Steve Balboni, one of my favorite current players, Whit Merrifield, Mike Moustakas, Buddy Biancalana, David Letterman's favorite shortstop, Willie Wilson, Bo Jackson, and Alex Gordon. Now, this is the part of the show where I ask my guest, where did I go wrong, Tony? Who was left off that you would have included?
That's actually a tough one. I really like, and it may be a little bit biased because I'm an Italian, but I really like. I mean, the actual Kansas City Royals just acquired, as of this last Wednesday, Andrew Benintendi, who can hit for power, and shoot all through the gap. But other than that, that lineup and everything, it sounds great.
The great thing about these rosters is that they are fluid. There were guys, obviously, that sometimes it's just hard to include everyone. Carlos Beltran, who had a great start to his career in Kansas City, I put him on the Durham Bulls, so he's the starting center fielder in Durham. And as far as the gentleman you just mentioned, very good chance, especially if he has a good year this year with the Royals, that he'll be a Royal in the Utopian Baseball Universe next year.
Very cool.
I want to try to keep all the favorites. Like as of right now, this is only the second year. We're not going to really do player movement or trades or anything because I want, especially kids that follow this, if your favorite is playing on the Royals, I want to keep them on the Royals so that people stay interested. I remember my favorite Milwaukee Brewer got traded when I was 7 years old, and that was tough. We've got a couple questions if you can stick around, Tony. My friend Tommy Midro is asking, where's the best barbecue in Kansas City? He might be heading down there for a golf outing. And for Always and Forever, a dog rescue outside of Kansas City. What's the best barbecue for Tommy?
Oh, that's tough. There's some great barbecue, and I honestly haven't been back in almost 7 years, so something new may have popped up even. But between one of my favorites is definitely Gates Barbecue.
And another one of the
Go ahead.
We have another viewer tonight that actually mentioned Gates. I was going to ask you about that had you not said it.
Well, Gates is excellent. I mean, it's messy, but it's nice, smoky, it's savory, it's sweet. They've got one that's got a little bit of spice. It's the best of all the barbecues pretty much come together. And I mean, I might be biased, but you can't really beat that. I mean, Kansas City, we're known for our barbecue. I mean, there's nothing more I can say about it. I mean, and you really can't go wrong with any barbecue joint in the Kansas City area. So, I mean, but Gates is still one of my favorites.
I can see us at some point just devoting a whole show to the best eats in all these cities. So now we have 2 votes of confidence for Gates. Where's your answer, Tommy, if you're still watching? Gates Barbecue. Tommy also has a couple of players that he would have included on this roster. Steve Lombardozzi. He is not in the universe, but again, it doesn't mean we won't see him in the future. We got to keep some surprises for other years. And then Wally Joyner. I love Wally. He was one of my favorites as a kid. Wally Joyner is actually the starting first baseman for the Angels in this Utopian Baseball Universe, and actually finished in the top 20 in batting last year. Was hitting 360 at the end of April, and he was crushing it. And he's going to be a big factor in the Angels this year. It looks like that's all we have as far as questions. Tony, tonight, as I mentioned, I'm going to put information like right when the show ends tonight. We're going to put on information where we can find this book on Amazon.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to add? I really appreciate you reading from the book tonight. And any other Royals fans watching out there, if you guys have any other questions, like for the next probably half hour or so, I'll still be taking questions after we're off the air. Just following up if anyone has any other comments. But Tony, anything else that you'd like to say to Royals fans watching tonight?
I think for Kansas City this year, I think it's going to be something special. I mean, it may not be everything we've hoped for, but I think it's going to be something special this year.
I'm just really excited for baseball to get started. Major League Baseball, Utopian Baseball, Eternal Baseball. It's all great. I'm excited for all of it. Tony, I'm sure at some point this season when the Royals start doing cool things, I'll call you again to have you on and talk a little bit more about the Royals.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, that's Tony Muzzillo. Again, tonight I'll put information in our group as to where you can find this book. I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight for the Royals team preview show. Tomorrow, we've got the Washington Nationals. I just have to double check the time. 7 o'clock Central Time. I've got a great guest lined up tomorrow. Erica Reynosa. I just met her a couple days ago. Not to spoil anything, but she's going to have one of the coolest backgrounds. You guys are just going to have to watch it tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Erica Reynosa, big Washington Nationals fan. Dave Martinez, again, like all the managers here, has given me his roster. He's let me know what his starting lineup is going to look like on that day. Again, thank you to Tony Muzzillo appearing tonight. Everyone have a great night, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 7. Take care, guys.